Good day, everyone. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Teacher Russell. So today we're going to talk about understanding spiritual self. So without further ado, let's start. For the lesson objectives, by the end of this virtual discussion, we are going to explore the different contemplative practices and its usefulness to develop concentration and mindfulness of the spirit. The second one, we are going to explore the dimensions of religion. We are going to talk about the nature of Taoism, Confucianism, Buddhism, and even Islam and Christianity. So what does it mean when you say spiritual? So spiritual basically, class, is defined as relating to or affecting a human spirit or soul. Soul na siya ha, na typo lang ko, I'm sorry. As opposed to material or physical things. So when you say spiritual person, that means you are going to have little importance on beliefs and tradition. No, dili kay kaghatag og importansya sa mga tinuuhan o mga tradisyon, mga naandan sa katigulangan, and you are more concerned when we were talking about spiritual person, you are more concerned with growing and experiencing with the divine. So ma'am, unsay kalainan ana niya ni religion or religious person? So ang religion and spirituality are both path padulong sa Ginoo. Puro na pareha na sila nga mga dalan, maoy dalan padulong sa ato ang great divine. However, they are different in their approaches. Nganuman, ang religious na person is someone who believes in a God or group of gods and consciously adheres to the beliefs of his or her religion. Kung moingon tag relihiyoso ka nga tawo, magtuo ka sa imong Ginoo or sa inyong mga Ginoo if you have more than one God, and also you are going to follow what are the beliefs and traditions or naandan sa imuang relihiyon. However, the spiritual person, on the other hand, would place a little importance to the beliefs and tradition, which is more focus siya into growing and experiencing with the divine. So, muna yung difference ni spiritual and religious. So now, when you're going to ask me, ma'am, anong importante man ang spirituality? Why is spirituality important? So, there is a growing body of evidences indicating that spiritual practices are associated with better health and well-being. So, kani daw ko nung we are going to practice spiritual aspect, no? Mas ikapaayo, ikanindot, ikaligon, ika-healthy daw kuno ni sa atuang kinaiyahan. So, many spiritual traditions encourage participation in a community, also spiritual fellowship, no? In which you are going to attend church or a meditation group. So, pwede na siya mahimo nimong source of social support nga maka-provide sa imo og sense of belonging, a sense of security, and of course, a sense of family. Kay naamang kay community nga nabilong ka. Now, bitaw na if you are having spiritual groups, no, na mag-sharing mo, mag-storyahanay, what are the experiences that you have, and then what are the same experiences nga inyong naagian, and then from that sharing alone, you are going to collect data in which you are going to apply in your life, and then mahimo na dayon siyang ikaayo sa outcome sa imo ang decision making and so on. So now we have contemplative practices as part of the spiritual practices, no? Which is very good for students like you, like the rest of the community na nagskwela pa. So, contemplative practice can be broadly understood as a method to develop concentration, no? Kinahanglanon kaayo ni sa mga students, no? You are going to concentrate about your studies, deepen understanding. You're going to understand logically far more beyond the word itself, and insight. You are going also to cultivate awareness and compassion when you are going to understood and deeply, heartedly apply contemplative practices. So now, what are the examples of contemplative practices? So first, we have here the meditation. So when you say meditation, it is a mental exercise in which you are going to focus on one's breathing or repeating mantra, no? So you are going to close your eyes, you're going to meditate, you're going to focus on your breathing, you're going to listen only to your pounding heart. You will exclude all the unnecessary noises around you. So basically, you're going to do this in a very quiet and peaceful corner, no? So for the purpose of reaching a heightened level of spiritual awareness. So meditation can induce feelings of calm and clear-headedness, no? Maluag ang imong hunahuna, magaan imong hunahuna, as well as it can improve concentration and attention. So next naman, we have prayer. Of course, we are all very familiar with the prayer. Prayer is something that you are going to connect with our God, worship. You're going to give thanks, you're going to adore, and we're going to confess. So prayer is the time wherein we are going to connect with the divine. It is the time to surrender everything. No, it is one of the best contemplative practice for me because oftentimes I cannot really share what I feel to other people because I'm afraid I might get judged. However, when I do prayers, I surrender everything to God, in which I will cry because I know He will never judge me. He will never shut me out. So all my problems, all my heartaches, my frustrations and disappointments, I will surrender it everything through prayer. And after that one, after I cry, after I shout in my mind, after I beg for forgiveness, no, after yun sa prayer class, lami kay sa pamati, I feel relieved, I feel nga loved ko, nga kanang every time gyud nga dili na nako makaya bitaw muampo, no? There maybe it's one lacking way nga nung feel tag emptiness, no? Because I was out of the church for almost 2 years, no? Nag-stop yun kong simba. And then I really feel the emptiness inside. And then after 2 years, I've decided, is He still willing to accept me? And so, pagsulod yun akong simbahan, grabe, yun akong hilak, jud nga, heavy jud kaayo nga, please, kanang, dawat ako balik, pwede, nihangyo yun ko, amahan, pasaylo ako kay ngano grabe ning talikod yun ko dayon sa imo, pasaylo ako kung gi-question ako akong faith, di na ako makita akong self. And then from that moment on, I am really happy because I feel that He did not leave me. No, the feeling is something you cannot explain that you know all your problems are still there, but it's not as heavy as before. So that for me is the effect of prayer in my life, no? So if you're not really into prayer, you have other contemplative practice that you can do, which is the journaling. So kung maingon tag journaling, you put all your emotions into writing, no? It is a contemplative practice that can help you become more aware of your inner life and feel more connected to your experience and the world around you through journaling, no? So there are researches that shows that writing during difficult times kanang lain kay imong pamati na suko ka, naguol ka, nahiubos ka, naglagot ka. If during those times daw kuno magsulat ka through journaling, it will help you find meaning in life's challenges and would help you become more resilient. Kung ingon tag resilient, palaban, no, in the face of obstacles. So, ano siya kasagara before man on my high school years, I do diary, dear diary. Today I was mad because choo 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 choo, and then I thought the world would crash in front of my eyes because blah blah blah, dako kay kong problema. And then after 1 month, after 2 months or more nga mabasahan ako balik ang akong journal, I come to think of it, wow, na-survive na ako to. Feel man ako ato, kay ako na yung pinakamalas na tao sa balat ng earth, pero dili man di ay, no, kahayahay din ako. So, ingon ana, you're going to be aware, no, and in that sense, you're going to be resilient. Why? Because maingon man dayon ka nga, nakaya ganito na ako, kani pa ba noon karon, no? So, thoughts or things like that happen. So, another one, contemplative practice is what we call yoga. So yoga is a Hindu spiritual and ascetic discipline, no? So gikan siya sa Hinduism nga religion, no? So Hindu people. So in Hindu theistic philosophy, it teaches the suppression, no? Suppression of all mind and body activity so that the self may realize its distinction from the material world and attain liberation. So, sa Western culture, ang kaning yoga kay system man siya o physical posture. Katubitaw kanang naa sa picture. That one. This one, kanang na a silhouette nga girl. So, that's an example of yoga. So you're going to fix your posture, your breathing techniques, no, and sometimes meditation to promote physical and emotional well-being. So somehow meditation and yoga are intercorrelated. Now let's proceed to the practice of religion, the belief in supernatural being and power. So the vast majority of the Earth's more than 7 billion people practice some form of religion. Halos kita tanan nga nagpuyo, halos, if not all, halos tanan. Naagid tay ginatuuhan or ginaapilan or nabilong nga religion. The number of religions and spiritual traditions that the human population practices is estimated at a little over 4,000. No, at least kadaghan atong mga tinuuhan, relihiyon, atong mga spiritual traditions and practices na gyud sa around 4,000 ka mga klase sa tibuok kalibutan. The reasons and theories of humans having religions are just as many as, if not more. No, grabe gid kadaghan ganang why is it daghan ang religions? Why is it daghan ang mga spiritual religious affiliation, so on and so forth? Tungod kay we have different theories, we have different reasons, and then some theories and reason might not be agreeable to some group of people. That is why they created another groups of people in which they agree to each other, ingon ana siya ang reason. So, now, religion is defined as the belief in and worship of a superhuman controlling power, especially a personal god or gods, because there are some religions they have more than one god man. So it is a particular system of faith and worship. So, kung mayroon ganitang particular system of faith and worship, kani nga distinct religion, you have your own way of worship. And the other religion po, they have their unique way of worshiping God. So, more than its beliefs and practices, religion is an experience, no? So, religion, however, may be best understood as a systematic attribution of human characteristics or behavior to a god, animal, or object. So, we have people manggod that they worship animals and gods. So there is a certain religion po na nag-worship sila ana. So one reasons human attribute human characteristics to some other entities is that the world is huge, ambiguous, and we need to interpret it the best possible way we can. No? So, naa may mga rason nganong na ay mga tawo na adyo mo apil og mga religions. So we have studied the psychology behind religious beliefs. So in 1990, there is a research conducted by Stephen Rees. So he is a professor emeritus of psychology at the Ohio State University. So according to Rees, there are 16 basic desires that humans share. So they are, I mean, the acceptance, curiosity, eating, family, honor, idealism, independence, order. We also have physical activity, power, because some religions are dominating, romance, saving, social contact, status. We also have tranquility and vengeance. So these are the basic desires that humans share. No, these are the desires. So that is why they are want to be part of a certain religion. Okay, so uh, for example, in social contact, religions attract both introvert and extrovert. That's the best thing. So for extroverts, religion offers fellowship, and others. For introverts naman, religion encourages meditation, private retreats, and solitude. So ang nakanindot sa religion, pwede ni ma-apply sa both introvert and extrovert. Sa nagkadaghan kaayong mga klase sa variations between different religions, lisod kaayo or very challenging to decide for a concrete definition sa kung unsay religion nga ma-apply siya sa tanan. So, no, sociologists noted 4 dimensions that seem to be present in varying forms and intensifies all types of religion. So, nagbuhat na lang gitag mga upat ka klase or upat ka dimension sa religion. So, first, religions have beliefs. So, beliefs are generalized systems of ideas and values that shape how members of a religious group come to understand the world around them. So kani siya nga mga tinuuhan, ginatudlo ni siya sa mga followers from the religious authorities such as priests, imams, shaman, o through formal creeds or mga doctrines, as well as more informal lessons nga makuha nato sa ilaa based on stories, worship songs, and mga myths. So we also have another dimension, the ritual. So kung moingon ganit ta og ritual, these are repeated physical gestures or activities such as prayers, no, permente man ta mag-pray, mantras used to reinforce religious teachings, elicit spiritual feelings, and connect worshippers with a higher power, according to Little 2016. So, ang pinaka-common nga type of ritual is a rite of passage, which mumark siya sa person's transition from one stage of life to another. Ang example ani nga mga rites are baptism and weddings. So kung bautismuhan gani ta ani nga relihiyon, mao gyud ni ang atuan na dayong mahimong official religion, unless kung maminyo ka and you have the different religion sa imo ang minyuan. Mo na dayon na siya ang another rite. So from the psychological perspective, rituals play an important role in providing practitioners with an access to spiritual powers of various sorts. So, para ma-relieve ang mga anxieties, religious rituals are provided as a basis of psychological stability when wholeness nimo or ang isa ka tawo nagatubang or nagsagubang og kanang pamati nga uncertainty or chance or kanang down deep inside, no, grabe kaayo mugunit gyud ang religion, grabe makapa lift up og spirit ang faith. So we have here the different classifications of rituals. We have imitative, sacrificial, positive, and negative, and then the life crisis. So for the imitative, these are mga pattern, mga myths that is passed from one generation to another. So for example, Filipinos makes noises at the strike of 12 every New Year. Magsaba-saba tanong kada na lang gyud na bagong tuig, napasa na gyud na og ayo ang nasuon na pud sa mga bagong family nga kana ang ginabuhat every New Year. And also another classification of ritual kanang sacrificial, no, sa unang panahon it is one of the earliest form of religion, no, magsakripisyo gyud ka mapatawo, hayop, food crops or objects. You're going to total destruction of sacrifice as an offering to a higher being. That is why in the Christian religion, Christianity, Jesus Christ was sacrificed to the cross so that all our sins will be forgiven by our Lord God. So, ingon ana. The other classification of ritual is the positive and negative ritual. So, basically, when you say negative ritual, these are rituals that can harm other people, that can destroy other people, such as mga forbidden, kanang ginabawal, no? Those are negative rituals. You can have barang, daot, there are many types of negative rituals paman. It's very common in the Philippines, no? So, however, on the other hand, the positive ritual naman is when you help other people. people. It's when you give love, you share your blessings, you comfort, you're there for one another. That is an example of positive ritual. The fourth one is the life crisis. So life crisis is the transition of one mode or stage of life into another. So kani siya nga ritual usually defines the life of an individual. So I am not really expert when we're talking about the type of life crisis ritual. So an example lang ani is uh, it is a Filipino tradition to bury placenta right after the birth, and usually it is the father who are obliged or tasked to do this, no, ilubong ang inunlan. I don't know what's the reason behind, but yeah, it's been for a couple of centuries na siguro, basta dugay na siyang gina-practice in the Filipino family, especially in the highlands na kanang dili makayag hospital ana so on. The third dimension that we have is the promise of access to some form of unique spiritual experience, or mao ni siya ang pamati nga naa ka bitaw immediate connection to a higher power. So from this point of view, religion is not so much about thinking a certain way, but rather feeling how you feel in a certain way. So according to Saint Thomas Aquinas gani, he often quoted, "To the one who has faith, no explanation is necessary. To the one without faith, no explanation is possible." So it is about summing up the experiential dimension of religion. So the fourth common dimension naman of religion is you are going to create unique social forms of community. So, according to Emil Durkheim, he emphasized that religious beliefs and practices unite in one single community called church, where all those who adhere will follow or listen to the particular practice. Now let's talk about the major religions in the world. So we have five. We have the Judaism, Christianity, Islam, Hinduism, and Buddhism. So let's uniquely distinguish each one of those after the following slides. So we will discuss first the Judaism religion. So Judaism encompasses the religion, philosophy, and culture of the Jewish people. So it is characterized by belief in one transcendent God who has revealed himself to Abraham, Moses, and the Hebrew prophets, and by a religious life in accordance with the scriptures and rabbinic tradition. So ang ilaang Bible ay gitawag nila og Torah. That's Torah. So it's ang symbol nila no kay kanang Star of David. So kana makita nimo nga star. So basically it is the ideal religion for me if I was just near Israel. So I'd probably be a member of Judaism religion. So it's my very favorite good. It's my best suit religion based on my knowledge. No. So we have trivia. So Judaism is the oldest of the Abrahamic religions and the predecessor of Christianity and Islam. Siya ang gigikanan ni Christianity o ni Islam. That is why siya akong ganahan kay diri nag-originate ang tanan. It is where they see God, they feel God, they see the presence of the Holy Spirit. So Jews remain faithful to the writings of Torah, which was believed to have been handed to Moses on Mount Sinai, and the Tanakh, which are considered or which is called the books of the prophets, the kings, and some other religious writings. No? So mauna siya ang facts about Judaism. Christianity naman is an Abrahamic monotheistic religion. When we say monotheistic, of course, we only believed in one God, which is based on the life and teachings of Jesus Christ, who serves as the focal point of the Christian faith. So para sa mga Kristiyanos, ang pulong sa Ginoo na sulat sa Bible or Biblia. So trivia again, the world's largest religion is Christianity. So as of the moment, it has 2.1 billion followers. But I think it's the data here is way back 2019 man ata. Ang data, I don't know what's the current data right now. But as for I think it's 2019, yeah. 2.1 billion followers ang mga Christians all around the world. Islam naman, on the other hand, is the religious faith of Muslims who worship Allah as the sole deity and believes Muhammad is his prophet. The holy scriptures of Islam is called Quran. No? So some interesting facts about Islam. The word Islam means submission or surrender. The root word of Islam is salam, which means peace. That is why when they said Salam alaikum, that means peace be with you. The word Islam in religious terms means surrender one's will or true will of God to achieve peace. So a Muslim is the one who surrenders himself to God's true will. Hinduism, considered as the world's oldest religion, but is still commonly practiced until to this present day. So, ang mga Hinduism has the combination of beliefs, philosophy, and cultural practices of India. So, India na itong Hindu. So, Hindu practitioners are divided by Vedic scriptures and believe in righteousness ang pagkaangay, the laws of cause and effect, the cycle of birth and death. So the central to the faith is a belief in reincarnation. So ang pinaka-central belief sa Hinduism is the reincarnation and one supreme God called Brahman. So Brahman has multiple manifestations as either God or goddess. Nagkalain-lain siyang mga manifestations. So gods and goddesses can be spirits, trees, animals, and even planets, for the Hinduism religion. So, some interesting Hinduism facts. The word Hindu originates from the Indian Indus River. So, it came from a river inspired ang kanang word nga Hindu. So, there are more than 1 billion followers of Hinduism in the world today. So, medyo daghan-daghan man po ang mga Hindus, no? So, Hinduism is also not a single religion. Rather, it is practiced by many different religious groups from India. And also, pod class, most of Hinduism's sacred texts were written in Sanskrit in ancient times. So, katong karaan kaayo man ni kulit-kulit maning Sanskrit, oy. The oldest ancient sacred texts of Hinduism are called Vedas. No? Veda means knowledge. No? So when you say Vedas, it is book of knowledge. The Vedas includes Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Sama Veda, and Atharva Veda. Basta about Veda. We are not going to dig in na lang kaayo ani nila. Basta kay the core lang sa Hinduism religion ang ato ang itakle. Okay? Now, we have the last major religion in the world, the Buddhism. No? So, Buddhism refers to the teachings of Gautama Buddha. So, Buddha was originally a follower of Hindu faith. That is why, kung makabantay mo, the Buddhism religion and Hinduism religion is somehow naikapariha, no? Na sila similar teachings. So, Buddha experienced enlightenment or Buddhi while sitting under a tree, no? It was in this moment that Buddha was said to be awakened, no? Na malandong siya ilalom sa kahoy, dayon mo ni siyang panahuna nga nakamata sa kamatuuran sa kalibutan. So mo ni siya gitawag aning Dharma. Mo ni siya gitawag nga Dharma in which you're awakened to the truth of the world or the Dharma. So Buddha is just an ordinary man. However, he taught his followers how to follow the path of enlightenment. No, katong sa kung ansay dalan sa kahayag, no, sa matarong basically. Thus, Buddhism does not believe in a divine realm or God as a supernatural being, but instead follows the wisdom of their founder. So, some interesting facts about Buddhism. So, Buddha is also known as the enlightened one or the awakened one. So, when Buddha was 35, he meditated under a fig tree or the Bodhi tree for several days until he attained enlightenment. Grabe gid pud iya pamalandong. Uy, pila man pud siya kaadlaw dito atong punuan. Okay, Buddha spent the rest of his life teaching his followers in the northeastern Indian subcontinent. Iyag yung gi-share kung unsa iyang mga na meditate siguro result sa iyang pagpamalandong adtong punuan na o kailaning fig nga tree oy. So Buddha lived at the age of 80. No, tas pud kinabuhi si Buddha. So he died in Kushinagar, India in 483 before Christ. Now, let's proceed to the beliefs about supernatural forces and beings. So, all cultures have ideas concerning supernatural beings or forces. Ilabihan na natong mga Pinoy, no, daghan kitag mga ginutuuhan nga mga dili ingon nato mga unsa pa ng mga supernatural forces hili kaayo ta magtuo-tuo, no? So, supernatural forces range from impersonal spirits to gods and can be all-powerful or annoying creatures that possess humans, no? So, we have first the term animism. So when you say animism, it refers to beliefs in which nature is enlivened by personalized spirits, no? So we also have animatism, in which it refers to beliefs in which nature is enlivened by impersonal spirits. The nature daw kuno kaning bato, kaning sani kanang lag dira, kanang sani uy kanang mga kahoy nga naputol, na daw kuno na sila yung mga spirit, daw kuno na sila nangasudlan daw na sila mga impersonal spirits in which bisag kinsa ang tag-iya nga pwede mo sud ana dinha. That is what I've understand about impersonal spirits. The animism, on the other hand, so when we say kahoy, na ay nagpuyo dira nga tree spirit pud, no? So lahi pud ng nuno, lahi pud ng klase sa spirit ang nagpuyo dira in which diha ra gid siya. So for the animatism, pwede siya magbalhin-balhin kung asa siya mo gusto magstay ang kana siya nga klase spirit. Ang animism is personalized spirit gid siya. No, dinha ra gid nang sinuno, dira ra gid sa punso ang kanang unsa pang ubang mga spirito, dili kay ko familiar aning mga spirits manggod. So we also have ancestral spirits. No, these are the souls or spirits of dead relatives freed from their body at death who maintain an interest in the living. So the picture I've showed here is the spirit in mga ancestors ni Mulan, in which they're talking, they're helping. So there are really people who believe in this particular sa tawag ani notion, no, nga naagi magbantay nila katong namatay na nila nga mga kuan mahal sa kinabuhi. But I personally believe that when you die, your soul will go back to God and wala na gyud, ana na gyud na siya, no? But also I respect all those people man who believed otherwise. So we also have gods and goddesses. In the Philippines, we have a lot, daghan tag mga gods and goddesses, no? They are seen as powerful and remote beings. They control the universe and are associated with particular aspects of the world when they are more than one, no? Kung sa Greece, they have Zeus. Sa Filipino, sa Pinas, natin gitawag nga Bathala. No, daghang puntag mga inana man nga mga cases, mga gods and goddesses in which dili lang kaayo ta familiar because wala kaayo siya nahatagan og kanang bitong dili kay siya sikat gyud, unlike ana nilang Perseus, mga Zeus, Hades, ana nilang Athena, unlike sa mga Greek gods and goddesses. Now, let's talk about the concept of dungan. Dungan spirit or soul. So the soul or sawol, S-A-W-O-L, it is a spiritual and emotional part of a person's animate experience. However, the spirit naman, it is spiritual or muna siya ang breathing, respiration, and the wind, the breath of a god. So it is the inspiration or breath of life, muna siyang spirit. On the other hand, the dunga naman is ethereal. It is something not weighed down by the world. Before it inhabits a human body, it inhabits a region above the earth with another dungan. And then the dungan then takes interest in the unborn being, usually a relative which it had chosen to inhabit. So ang pagsabot ana ko aning dungan no kay kanang mura siya og mo reincarnate. Sakto ba ka? No? So dungan also has a secondary meaning of willpower. So, mamili siya, aha siya mo born, mo rebirth, o balik. So, people living together may lead a spiritual competition between the two dungan leading to the weaker becoming sick. So, at the death, dungan leaves the body via any of the sacrifices and goes with the air toward the upper regions. No, munang musaka sa langit. And there it waits until it finds another body to enter. Huy, kuyaw. Maudi ay? Dira siya mangita siya ahay iya ang kasudlan, no? So according to Alicia P. Magos, an anthropologist and a professor emerita of University of the Philippines, Visayas, according to her, the dungan was a life force. No, life force, there siya an energy, no, energy, there siya and life force. So under this concept, everyone has a dungan, which is similar to the Western concept of soul. However, unlike soul, the dungan can temporarily leave the body when the person is asleep. Once dungan returns to the person's body, he or she becomes fully conscious again. If any other spirits harm the dungan while it is outside the body and cannot return, the person dies. Feel na ko ang dungan, mura ni siya, kanang itong parya sa Insidious nga horror movie nga naa kay self nimo nga makagawas sa imuang physical body, no? So, during our pre-colonial ancestors, they also believed that aside from adunga na ay gitawag nga vital force nga nag-occupy sa atoang lawas pod. Ang kani nga vital force gitawag nila ginhawa or the breath of life. So ginhawa was said to be responsible for the heart's ability to beat. So it was actually the soul, spirit, and dungan na silang similarities. Na feel nako they were just defined from different people, no? However, there are some aspect nga distinct gyud hinuon pod sila. So now, let's talk about the man's search of meaning. According to Viktor Frankl, the meaning of life lies in finding a purpose. No, dako kaayo class ang advantage kung kita mismo kabawta unsay purpose nato sa atong kinabuhi. Unsay purpose nato ngano nabuhi ta, and taking responsibility for ourselves and other human beings, no? Ngano man, if you're having a clear reason or a clear why, we can face all the how questions of life, dali ra, no? Nga kana bitaw naamagod tay tubag nganong naingon ani man ni uy. Giunsa man nato pag agi ani? Uy, giunsa nimo pag overcome, no? Sa imong why. We always have to anchor the purpose of life. Actually, class, it is very important to find your meaning. What are you doing right now? Is what you're doing right now what you wish to be in the future, kinahanglan magtakdo na sila. Why? Kay basin ba unyag nangandoy ka nga mahimong kwartaan, nangandoy ka makahumag eskwela, pero ang imong gibuhat sa karon kay kuan di ay kanang gatinapulan. Walay pakialam sa klase. You just take everything for granted. No? Bati. Bati kaayo. Kinahanglan, as early as possible, we will know what is our purpose here in life. No? If your purpose is to be a blessing to your family, then be a blessing to your family in all aspect. No? You should not be the badlungon na sa karon mintras naapa ka sa inyong balay, dili pa ka kabulag sa poder sa imong ginikanan, then you should follow your parents. Ingon ana, no? And by the time you can get up on your own, you have already searched what is our purpose in this life. Unsay purpose nimo diri? I hope the purpose that you find in your heart could be able to help other people. Muna siya nice. Personally, I don't like education. I don't like, basta di ko ganang education nga kurso. But later on in life, when I was in college, I realized a certain calling nga, aside sa fact nga tabian yun ko, I've realized there are a lot of people, a lot of young generation who lacks teachings. I am not saying that I am a very good teacher, but I feel I have the calling of teaching and touching hearts of other people, giving them the real talk. No, I provide real talk to people, to students. I provide motivation. I want to encourage a lot, if not all students, to finish your studies. Trust me, it will do you good. It will do no harm to you. You can succeed through finishing your studies. Sa tanang mga naliko or nahiwi sa ilang dalan, it's still not too late. There's still time to change. That is the reason why I want to be a teacher, why I want to be in this job. Because I want to touch, I want to influence people in my own way. At least I can make a change. So, mao na siya akong calling. Mao na siya akong in search of my meaning of myself. Teaching is my passion. It's my happiness. So, what is yours? No, you should start creating what you wish to become, what you ought to be, so on and so forth. And then everything else will follow. When you get tired, you should anchor to, ay, unsay purpose gani na ako, ano na ako diri. So it's to teach. Oh, that is why. So that's what you're doing right now. So anytime nga kapuyon ko, ako lang yung i-remind akong self nga, I need to tarong di ay, uy, kay magklase man ko, ganahan man ko ani nga trabaho, no? Remember class that ato bitaw very famous quote sa Three Idiots nga movie, make your passion your profession and then work will become play. So ingon ana gid siya ang naka-nice. When you know what you want, then everything else will follow. No, if you love what you're doing, everything else will follow. So you should be able to search what is your purpose, what's the meaning of your life in this world. So here there are three different ways in discovering your meaning of life. So first, you're going to create a work or doing a deed. What are the things that you like? What are the things that you don't like? So on and so forth. Next, you're going to experiencing something or encountering someone. Maybe you would realize you'd like to interact with other people, you help other people. Basta kay kanang finding meaning nga makatabang ka sa imo isig katawo. No? And then lastly, we have the attitude we take towards unavoidable suffering, and that everything can be taken from a man, but one thing, the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude. No, freedom yun class dili na makuha sa atoa. Naatay choice kung unsa atong gusto, unsa ta mahimong kita. It's the best gift God has ever given to us. We have the free will to decide on our own life. In return, we should not disappoint this gift, and we should use this gift to help, to love, and to spread goodness in this world. So I hope you've learned some life lessons in our discussions for today. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope na arag gyapon mo na kuha nga very important messages. And thank you so much for continuous support in my channel, and see you on my next video. Bye bye.